Hello, hello, everyone. Come on in, take a seat. Did everyone get out and vote today? Um, I hope you did. If you haven't and you still have time, go on and vote. Doesn't matter who you're voting for, it's your right, and everyone needs to vote today. Um, I went this morning. It wasn't too bad, but I only live in a town of about 8,000, so you know it wasn't it wasn't too bad. But anyway, tonight we're continuing on with our series, Where is Sebastian Rogers? We're going back to the beginning and reviewing all the interviews that took place. And we've been on the Smiley's story video for a while, a few days anyway, I think 4 days. 5 days. This will be the fifth day, right? And I think we're still going to have at least one more day after this for this video because we're only about halfway through. So, getting a lot of comments on this video. It's kind of funny. It seems like anytime it involves mom and stepdad, we have a lot of comments and a lot of reaction anyway. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Feel free to, put your thoughts and your opinions in chat. All I ask is don't show hate to anyone. And please don't mention any other creators on the show. We don't bash anybody, okay? All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get started tonight. And here we go.
Explain what I am anymore.
It's okay. I just wondered. A lot of people was asking that. I'm sorry, I was trying to read some of this. A lot of people was asking that, and just might as well ask it.
And we appreciate it. Like we said, thank you.
Let's see. All right, y'all. Let's see.
I did speed it up tonight.
Did y'all? What did y'all like to do together as a family when Chris was in town and y'all were all together? Like, what was your thing? Did you ever have a short mini vacation on the weekends? Did you go? What did you like to do?
Oh, we do all sorts of stuff. He loves Top Golf, so we like to take him there.
Mm-hmm.
Dave and Buster's because games.
Yeah.
We've got a few really good parks in the area that he still enjoys going and playing in.
Some hiking.
We do hiking. We go bowling. We have in the summer a family member with a pool, so he absolutely, utterly loves going over there. And we do game nights. He loves playing cards. Uno is currently his favorite game.
Could he swim?
Like a fish.
What was his favorite food?
Well, that depends on which day of the week.
What day of the week?
Yeah.
He changes his favorite food probably every day. Chocolate milk has been a long time runner.
Tofu, believe it or not, tofu. He's not a huge steak eater, but steamed tofu.
Not fried and no sauce, just plain steamed tofu and sushi. The boy loves sushi.
Yep.
He loves it.
Did he like going to, did y'all ever take him to the Japanese places where they made that?
Shoguns where they cook in front of you?
Yeah.
Oh, hibachis, yeah.
He likes it, but he doesn't at the same time because it's so loud and clanky.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of the teriyaki style sauce.
Yeah.
When we get his, we kind of have to ask, like, hey, can y'all scoot some over? He doesn't like condiments that much. He really doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, what time did you get home on Monday? Do you remember?
I want to say it was, well, hold on, let's see here. 1 something, I think.
Yeah. And then did you have to go back up there and get your camper? I mean, is that what y'all had to go back and get that? Somebody had to drive
Yes.
it back. Or
No. It's a fifth wheel. It's a fifth wheel.
Well, oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't tell. Somebody was just.
No. So there's a couple things that, because of this whole situation, I hope families never endure.
Right.
Without going into great details, I almost lost my job.
Mm-hmm. Over this?
Yes, over this, very much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I was like, well, so I got permission. And I say I got permission. I asked law enforcement, said, hey, I need to go down, go get my fifth wheel, and I need to bring it home.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, and they said, okay. So we told them what day we were going. And we went down there. We weren't even down there, I don't know, 24 hours maybe. I think we were down there maybe 17 hours. Long enough to get down there. I finished packing everything up. And honestly, she didn't go. I was down there long enough to pack everything up. I spent the night in my trailer, hooked up the next morning, and came home.
Mm-hmm. So, but will you be going back to work there? I mean, they'll allow you to go back to work there? In Memphis?
Things have worked out. I will be returning to work.
Good. Okay. All right. Good. So why the three-way call?
So, well,
Because
I'll give
I
you.
was hysterical and screaming and crying and frantic. And so he told me to mute my phone, and he's the one that actually called, because at that point I couldn't even make words anymore.
So not only that, but if folks know the area, when you call 911, you go to a central dispatching unit. You don't actually go to your local PD unit. You go to a hub on a cell phone. When you tell them where you're at, then they redirect you to the local PD. We don't live inside city limits, so the local PD they're not responding. It's not their jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to call the sheriff's office. So I called directly to the sheriff's office because I know what was going to happen. Bypass it, call them. And then within 10 minutes of that phone call, they were at the house. And when they were at the house in full force.
How many came? Do y'all remember? Was it a lot? Or?
You've seen the aerial shot of the subdivision, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so from our house,
Hello, it
go
got
all the way
changed.
back down to Stafford to that stop
Thank
sign
you for coming
where
on
Kellen
in.
and Stafford meet. Then line cop cars all the way down Kellen out to Long Hollow Road.
Yeah.
That's how many cops came.
Well, is there a reason like y'all didn't go to the vigil? I mean, for real, the one by the high school? Seriously?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
So security reasons. And this is what I'm fixing to tell you is going to spark a whole bunch of stuff in the comments. I'm not afraid to answer any of this. The young lady who started to organize this vigil never even contacted us. Not one time has any of these vigils taken place that somebody tried to organize them with us as the parents. I think the only one that's been somewhat organized with a parent is the one that was done in Clarksville with Seth. Other than that, the one that was supposed to be out in front of my house was a security issue. My neighborhood said, we don't want it here because our roads don't have sidewalks. We don't have easements. Technically, you're not even supposed to park on the street.
Yeah.
We found out about it, and then we found out that they were spreading it all over basically the county and state, and there was like tons and tons of people saying they were going to come. And there's zero parking here. It's not big gathering spot. So we asked for them to move it to the school, which is literally like half a mile from my house, if that.
It's not even that. It's like a quarter mile down the street.
Can accommodate all of the people.
Not only that, but some of the people, like some of the comments and the stuff that's being said. And
I know.
if you're in our shoes, it could be a security reason, because if somebody shows up acting crazy, that's not kosher. One, it's not coming in our subdivision. I don't want it in front of my house. I don't need thousands of people in front of my house. I appreciate.
You're still talking, but I can't hear you. I can see you're talking if you moved. All right, well, listen for him. Let's see. Katie, was you still married to Seth when you and Chris met?
No. So I know he's insinuating that I cheated, and I did not. Seth and I had been separated for I think about 2 years and change when I met Christopher.
Yeah.
And we didn't get married until nearly 3 years after my divorce. So no, I was not cheating and running around.
You know that it's been said that there are rumors, and Chris is not up here now, but it's been said that there is someone in the neighborhood that you have been seeing. Is that any truth to that?
No.
Okay. And there was nobody else in the house that night with you?
Just me and my son.
Can you tell me more about that 3-hour phone call? I mean, is that normal, something normal that y'all did every night?
Yeah. So my husband works out of town, as y'all all know. And yes, it is regular that we talk every evening or during all throughout the day. We call each other here and there. We chat off and on. That's how we're involved, and we're our version of spending time with each other, because, on a different situation where, both people come home from work at a normal time, you sit down, you have dinner, you spend time with your spouse, and, it's hours of time that you're spending with them. We don't have that physically when we're separated by work. So, we spend it on the phone. We
Well, I can kind of back up what Katie is saying. I know a lot of people think that 3 hours is excessive, right? And I have said this before. I had a husband who was a truck driver, and they get lonely. Not only that, things come up when you're far apart like that you need to talk about. And, so yeah, my husband used to call and want to talk for hours. Did I always enjoy talking that long? No, I'm not. But, you know, um, when they're lonely and they have nothing to do but drive down the road, you know, talking hands free gives them a little bit of reprieve from that. And Chris is away from his family. I totally get that. I'm not saying I defend that. I'm not even saying that they had that 3 hour conversation that night. I'm just saying I have seen and been a part of that myself. So let's continue on.
we talk while we're having dinner, and we most of the time the phone's on speaker and Sebastian talks to him and whatnot. But that's the way that we are still spending time and talking about our day. And
Yeah. I mean, if it's, every night, I mean, that would kind of get boring to me. I mean, everybody's different, but I just wondered if it was something normal, that y'all did, or it was just that one night, or a couple of nights before or anything like that. I didn't know if it was normal. I wouldn't, I mean, it's not something I would do. So, I mean, I'm not saying y'all don't, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, mine goes, just go.
well, and then that's normal for some people. Not everybody wants to, spend that much time with their spouse, but I enjoy being around my spouse and my husband, and, and I enjoy that he's a part of my life and a
Yeah.
part of, the family. And for us, that is our normal, albeit some other people, may not
Yeah.
the same way. Not everybody wants to be around somebody all the time, but sometimes, just being on the phone, you're just kind of sort of spending time together.
But is that not, and I think this is a fair question. I'm not trying to be mean, but is that not, and this has nothing, I'm just weird like this. So, but is that not taking time away from your son that you could be spending with your son,
No,
being on the phone?
no, because I'm not on the phone during all of that time. I'm not on the phone every minute of the day with him. I'm on the phone in the evenings after bedtime until I go to sleep, that type of thing. I spend time with my son from the time I get home until the time he goes to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I don't know. That's just kind of not something that, I don't know. A lot of people just find weird. And
a lot of people don't have long distance marriages either, so I'm sure they could. But if they were in this situation, then, maybe they would have a different opinion or point of view. But, I don't think it's weird to spend time with your spouse on a regular basis.
yeah. And what about, and Chris, do you, like, are you off nights, or do you work, do you mind telling, do you work night shift, or is it days, or? I mean, do you mind? Is that okay to ask? Or
Yeah, no, that's fine to ask. So, in my line of work, you really don't have, I would say, a normal set schedule. I'm going to give you an example. So, helping a guy out right now till I go back, I'm filling in for a guy. His
yeah,
shift starts at noon and doesn't get off until midnight tonight.
yeah,
That's not your normal shift, you know. So it kind of depends. Some some crane operators depends what's going on the job site determines on like the hours. Because if you're doing a concrete pour, um, I mean, you may be up there for 18, 24 hours.
hmm
I mean, it
And
just
for the
kind of
record,
depends.
because a whole bunch of people just snapped back at me because I did say that I talk to my husband on the phone when I eat dinner, and I do. And I also said not every single day. Most of the time, we talk from bedtime until I go to bed or one of us falls asleep. But I also said that he interacts with Sebastian as well because he does.
yeah. I don't know. For some reason, my chat is not moving, and I'm having to stroll it. That's why I keep doing that. I don't know why, and I don't know how far behind y'all I am. Chat. I don't know how far this is behind, but I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm kind of scared to refresh it because I don't want to lose nobody. Let me try to refresh it. Y'all don't go anywhere. I'm sorry. I
Okay,
apologize.
sure.
Let's see if it reloads.
Wow, they're really coming at Katie
I got
for that.
myself to the stage, and I think who is Katie up here?
So they are really coming at Katie for that. I kind of surprises me. I I I guess people who haven't been in that situation where your spouse is gone for, weeks do not understand that yes, you're going to spend time talking to them. You know, like I said, did I want to spend 3 hours every night talking to him? No, I didn't, but you know, um I also knew that in order to be there for my spouse because he was lonely, I needed to spend some time with him on the phone every night. So, I can understand. I really can. I can understand what Katie is saying here. And honestly, guys, she shouldn't have to be defending that. I'm not saying I'm for Chris and Katie. I'm not saying I believe everything they say. But this particular topic, I do. I don't think it's weird. Like Smiley said, she thought it was strange. I I don't, and only because I've been there. I have been in that situation. So, coming from someone who's been there, you know, let's continue.
Yeah.
Or Chris? I got one of them's up here, but I can't tell. I think it's Katie. Katie, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I am.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm gonna put this back down here for Chris again. Yeah, I had to reload because it wasn't going anywhere. I was having to do that. That's why I couldn't catch none of the questions. Oh, I was so behind y'all. I apologize. Okay. Was Chris in Memphis the entire weekend? Okay, here we go, guys. Was he in Memphis the entire weekend or did he leave? I think he already answered that one. He said he was there the entire weekend, and then they want to know, did he take a polygraph test and pass? And oh, okay. So maybe you can answer this one, Katie. Why did Sebastian wear pull-ups at your house?
So Sebastian wore pull-ups because, or when specifically, when he was having his regression, when he was having issues with wetting the bed or wetting his pants, he had issues where he would wet himself at school. And then occasionally would wet himself at night. Now I know that Seth went and said that never happened at his house, but I do know that it did, of at least a few occasions that I know of. But that's not the point. The point is that he did go in and out of pull-ups based on he would go into the pull-ups, and then once he got back on track and he was not having wetting issues at school and or home, he would go back into regular underwear, and that unfortunately is just something that has been happening for ever.
Right.
Sebastian was late to potty train, and
SRK, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. just growing the channel. So I really appreciate hearing that you guys are enjoying it. That means so much to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And has had issues going back and forth with it basically his whole life.
Right. Okay. So why is there a problem? I feel, I mean, I feel it shouldn't be a problem, but somebody's asking about the GoFundMe. Why are you so mad about that, Chris?
So initially, I forgot what day it was. Myself, Katie, and Seth were in my house, and I had brought up the question. I said, "Hey, should we start a GoFundMe page to start trying to raise money to add help to this, however we can?" And the police said, "Hey, no, I don't recommend doing that, because then if you do that, it looks like you're trying to do this for profit." I was like, "Okay, that makes sense." So we all three had an agreement. We weren't doing this. And next thing you know, now there's the GoFundMe page up there.
So, okay. And, but, okay. So why don't y'all just start your own GoFundMe page? I mean, it's like, there's no sense in arguing over it, really. I mean,
So all of this has kind of stemmed because you got a family member who wants to go out there and blast some family matters to the public. That's where it all stems from. Like I said, this is not family problems. This isn't about family matters being public. It's about Sebastian.
right.
And we've got some family members that aren't necessarily kosher about everything right now, and they're upset. Their emotions are, I got it. Everybody's been at one point hot-headed, if somebody tells me they're not, that's a lie. Everybody's been a hothead at some point.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we got a missing kid, and that's a problem.
Well, in my opinion, I mean, you have to put everything aside. I mean, your feelings, her feelings, and I know it's not easy. You've got, you honestly have to do this. You're going to have to endure a lot. It's not going to be pretty, and it's probably going to be worse. I just sat here with another case, 2.5 years, going on 3 years in June, and the things I've seen out of that has not been pretty, and no results have been unfortunately found. And, but I'm hoping that it will be different with Sebastian. I know that the people there care. There's no doubt in my mind. And one reason that there's no doubt is, again, that's where I was born and raised, and I have family there, and I know, and there's good people there. There are good people there. And, I see the difference. I really do. And, sometimes this internet is harsh, but one thing that I see different with the police there is they do come out and they say, we do want your help. We do want, and they're asking and they're begging and they're doing everything they can to find Sebastian, and they're trying to put him first. It's not hard when you have others that have come up missing during this search for Sebastian. Because everybody deserves a fair shot, Raleigh. Everybody deserves a fair shot to get found. And I know that's breaking everybody's heart, your hearts, everybody's hearts, that this had to be scaled back a little bit. But you can't give up. We can't give up. And sometimes you're going to go to bed crying. You're going to go to bed, no matter what people think of you, it does not matter. You're going to hear things. You're going to see things. But again, the most important thing is Sebastian, because no matter what, no matter if he's out there, well, good, fine, or not, he deserves to be found like anybody else. He is somebody, and he's.
Well, I agree with her about that. And SRK, I too have renewed hope. Oh, you know, dog raising the reward to 175,000, and then the tip out in Oregon where Chris and Katie were seen there. we know that there are tips coming in, and that's good. When you're 8 months into this and you're still getting tips, that's awesome. Um, I believe Sebastian is out there too. I really want to, just as Seth, believe that he's alive and that he's out there. Somebody's got him, and that person is going to have a change of heart and either bring him home or call someone to come get him. That's my hope and my prayer, and I'm standing believing that he's going to be home by Christmas. Now, as far as this GoFundMe and Chris being upset, I think that that's all ridiculous. Seth was taken off every day to go and pass out flyers and search for his son. And, he still had bills to pay, right? He still had rent to pay. He still had, electric and whatever else, groceries, whatever else he had to pay. Not to mention that, he hired private investigators. And so, okay, SRK said, I'm in Oregon, have to go walk my impatient dog, so I'll be back. Thank you again. I'll keep watching. Thank you, SRK. I appreciate that so much. So yeah, I, you know, if they had an agreement, I guess I can understand Chris being upset somewhat, but you know what? Chris and Katie went back to work. Seth's still out there. Seth's still looking for his son. Not everybody can just be out there and, have the funds to take care of yourself indefinitely, right?
You're somebody, and he's Seth somebody. And like Seth said, damn it, bring him back. Katie, I know you've been asked this 100 times, more probably. Today, after rethinking everything, to this day, if he could hear you right now, what would you say to him? And if somebody had him, what would you say to them?
I would say to Sebastian that we love you, baby. Bubba, we're going to find you. We're going to bring you home. And I would say to somebody that has my son that they better let him go and they better come out. Because we're going to come and we're going to find him. We're not going to stop, and we're going to bring an army with us. An army of support of people that are helping to look. And son, I love you.
Katie, if you could take anything back about that day, about Sunday, and redo anything about Sunday, what would it be?
I'd have slept outside that boy's door. I say it like that, and I promise I'm not laughing. I just I would have I don't know. I would have made sure to check him 100 times. They get older and you think that they're okay and that they're good, and you don't check as much throughout the night. Like when you get up, when he was little, if I woke up, I'd check on him. I was always looking at him, and as he got older and he didn't need that as much anymore, and I took that for granted.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think that Katie's being sincere here? I mean, she did sound like she was about crying, right? But what are your thoughts? Do you think that she's being honest and sincere? It would really help if we could see her face, right?
Things we take for granted, and we don't realize things can change in the blink of an eye, but they can.
I'd give anything to be able to hug my baby again.
We don't realize how time, we just can't turn back time. That's one thing we cannot undo. Let me look on here. Okay, so they want to know on the super chats, they want to know, explain to me why you keep making comments about what people think of you. Chris, why not focus on searching for Sebastian?
Well, I do focus on looking for Sebastian.
Tough
But at the
question.
same time, when I said I'd answer questions and people want to put questions up there, and then you want to put your comments and your 2 cents in with a question, you're going to get an answer.
Somebody asked me to remember these, and I always forget them because I'm not used to them. Well, I'll just go down these real fast. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
So you spoke about discipline. What kind of discipline did he want? They said you spoke about discipline. What kind of discipline did he want to get away from the house because of that? Did he want to get away? Oh, okay. So they want to know, did he want to get away from the house because of the discipline?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. So Sebastian is not afraid. He runs up to me, gives me a big old hug, says, I love you, says, I miss you. When I'm out of town, his mom, he'll look at his mom and say, hey, when's Mr. Chris coming home? Can we call him? Things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, discipline is discipline. There's a difference in discipline a child and beyond discipline a child.
Right.
You know, I can tell you from personal experience, I know the difference between both. And I vowed I would never in my life do that to a child.
They want to know, okay, so he's already answered that one. They've put out flyers, and he's told a while ago that the signs that you see in the yard, he said that that come from his family.
Yes.
Yeah. And
if people are interested in purchasing them or trying to get some ordered and sent to them, find me on Facebook, send me your just hit me up, and I will send you the point of contact, and you guys can reach out to him and work it out.
in fact, I would like to get that information, and I will get with you to get that about the signs or whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just going down. Okay, y'all be nice.
Everybody's entitled to their opinions and their feelings. Don't get me wrong.
Now I'm flipping down it, and I'm like, well, hold on, because I can't see them because I didn't catch them right when they first come up. Okay. Okay. I had to read some of these because once they're gone, I am not going to see them for a while.
Oh, okay.
In here. That's why I apologize. Is it hurtful to be? No, because it's hurtful to be a bio safe step. Oh, that's when we first come on here, and I was asking you that. Okay, did he take any medicine before bed, and did he sleepwalk?
Did he
sleepwalk?
Yeah, as long as I've been in Sebastian's life, I've never heard of him sleepwalk. Now, getting up in the middle of the night and sneaking snacks and stuff, that's one thing, but sleepwalking,
And to clarify, he's not sneaking food because we starve him, because that's absolutely not the case. He just likes to munch on a bunch of junk food in the middle of the night because he doesn't get a bunch of sugar. He's, one dessert and he wants to eat the whole box. So he gets up in the middle of the night and sneaks snacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sneaks candy in his room and hides the wrappers under his bed. I mean, same stuff basic kids do. It's just, one, I'm not going to have bugs throughout the house. We told him, you eat in the kitchen, you eat in the dining room.
And
when you're done with it, you put it in the trash. That's the only thing we've asked him.
Okay, so they're back to Rachel. So they're saying that what happened to her head, that's what they want to know. And
what happened to her head?
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about.
If they could clarify a little bit more, I don't know.
They're saying you almost killed her. I don't know.
Huh?
Like I said, I don't know anything about Rachel.
Okay.
It's posted on the board.
Yeah, if I can't see the comments for some reason. It's not
Okay,
showing me the
it says
comments.
you
But
about killed Rachel. There was blood everywhere. Where, sir, you thought she was dead. I don't
blood
know.
everywhere. Thought I no. Oh, okay. That's news to me, but no.
It could be they paid to ask that question, which I'm just not getting to, and they've asked it 2 or 3 times. That's why I don't know. It could be a troll. I don't know. Listen, I have no idea. I don't mean to make y'all
No,
feel
no, 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 no. I'm not. I'm sitting. I'm like, and she's like, her head, blood everywhere.
I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Well,
Yeah, I mean that's a new one on me. So I mean I don't I don't really know what's going on there. Again, that was
my mother actually still talks to Rachel. I mean that right there ought to tell you the kind of relationship.
Okay. Now, guys, we have seen Chris get very angry, right, on some of these things. Now, wouldn't you get angry if somebody said this about you on a video? I mean, if you were on being interviewed and somebody said that to you about your ex-wife and it wasn't true, wouldn't that make you angry? I mean, if somebody said I tried to kill I don't know, I just can't really go that way, but I'd be upset, and he's not. I do not understand Chris at all. I just don't. Sorry.
Relationship that my family had with her. We still talk to her.
yeah.
She's got her 2 kids. So where all that stuff's coming from is very interesting. But no.
Well, there y'all have it, folks. Sometimes families do still talk to exes and their moms and dads and all that does. So I don't know. Did LE check vehicles and your trailer that you took to Memphis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so they're saying yes. All right, let's see. Oh, thank you for coming, a YouTube member. Beautiful sunflower. Yep. The medicine that Sebastian, is that life threatening if he don't take that medicine?
No.
Okay, it's not life threatening, but it's not good that he don't have it.
Right.
Yeah. And like anything else, it's not good because if you take medicine for so long and you just come off of medicine just quick, fast, and in a hurry, it can cause seizures.
Yes.
Yeah, it was supposed to be weaned off if and when he came off of it. It was not supposed to be a sudden stop.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is your theory, each one of you separately, on what happened to Sebastian? Well, I mean, just like I know you've probably had 2 or 3, but like, what do you think now? We're 3 weeks later. What is your thoughts now? Like, what do you think?
I wish I had a freaking clue on where my son was, to be honest with you. None of it makes sense.
But not so much where he was, but like if you just play it back in your head, like if you think, what in the world happened? I mean, what could have happened? Is there things like maybe that you've thought over and over as a mother, what could have happened? Something ring a bell from a week ago, a month ago, something that's clicked to you. I mean, anything.
I mean, all I can say is everything that I've come up with, I've asked law enforcement to look into, and so far nothing has led to anything substantial in finding him. I mean, we've gone over wild probabilities,
Hey,
all
we got a
sorts of
lifeline working
stuff,
about.
and
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. They never said nothing about it on the radio.
I haven't been able to figure out anything that explains where my son is.
Yeah. And they want to know, do you know this Katie Fisher or Carrie Fisher personally, the one that redirected the search? Was
No,
it you know who I'm talking about? She was a convicted felon.
Yes,
I heard about that, but no, never met her before.
How do you
Don't
feel
know
about
her at all.
how do you feel about that?
We talked to the law enforcement about it to ask because we didn't know anything about it until we started getting told that there was, an issue and somebody, a felon, was potentially interrupting the searches and whatnot. And we went to them and was like, "What the heck? Like, what is this? What are y'all doing with it? Is this true?" And I don't know all of the results on if law enforcement like directly addressed her or anything like that. I just know that that she led a search, I believe, down in Goodlettsville.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, at least it was a search that happened.
So you don't think she hurt anything, or like as far as the searches or anything, do you? Do you think it was just something that blew up on the internet? I know they got her out. She's not allowed to search anymore, but I mean, do you think it was something that just blew out of proportion?
I mean, it's nothing more than an opinion, but I think probably because
Yeah.
law enforcement said that that there was no like hindrance that they know of that happened from that, but it's beyond the whole internet blow up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was just the question that was on here too. And okay, so they want to know, somebody always L8 wants to know why Sebastian was wearing pull-ups at your home. I think we covered that, and not, oh no, they want to know if he was afraid of Chris. Is that why he was wearing the pull-ups?
No, he wasn't wearing pull-ups because he was afraid of Chris. Sebastian had a recent autism diagnosis, but Sebastian has a chromosome deletion that he was diagnosed with when he was a baby.
Yeah. So that's what they were saying.
Okay, so and Mama Bear, yes, I mean we know everything that Nina has claimed, right? About how Chris treated her children and baby Faith. I mean, and even some of his comments, and his admission to spanking Sebastian with the belt, and I don't know if the name is Chai. I did see your spanking with the belt is cultural. I mean, it may be in some cultures, but I think, for the most part, in America anyway, parents have gotten away from that for the most part. And if they haven't gotten away from it, they're taking the chance of getting CPS called on them, quite honestly, because it's gotten pretty bad if you do that with your child, and you're leaving marks, and the child says anything, you're gonna have CPS at your door. Um, and Mama Bear, I agree with you, Katie. Allowing Chris, let's see, to physically punish Sebastian is abuse by her of her son by proxy, but I believe she abused him physically too. On his flyer in the Optimism t-shirt, he has finger bruises on his throat. Yeah, I mean, if a mother is allowing a stepfather to abuse, then yes, I mean, they're guilty as well, you know. And I think that's the way CPS looks at things, and we know there were CPS records that were out there. So, oh, Chai. I'm retired from LE. No one gets arrested without marks and bruises. I don't vaguely with it, but in the hood I work in, the belt is a big thing. Gotcha. Okay. Right. I agree with you that no one gets arrested without marks and bruises anymore. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are um, certain areas where it is. I know when I was little, I got hit with a belt. Um, so I'm just saying from one generation to the next, there's a big change, and as CPS keeps stepping in, um, you know, that's going to change. Um, but my channel just popped up. And Mama Bear says it's obvious by Chris's temperament he would not be able to restrain himself when he physically punishes. So what I have seen about Chris is that he likes control. He really, I mean, that's a big thing with him. He likes to control. You know, when he's on interviews, he likes to be the controller of the conversation. And so someone who likes control is going to, yeah, you know, probably be a pretty strict disciplinarian, and yeah, probably will not be able to restrain themselves. I don't know. Keep in mind, everybody, this is, you know, individual opinions. Everything is alleged. You know, we're not there, right? We weren't there when even Sebastian ran away. We are not there. So, without having a video of any alleged abuse, we cannot say for a fact that it happened. You know, Nina's testimony is pretty damning, I will say that. But yeah, we need to really be careful that, you know, that we're, well, you've seen, I'm sure, on YouTube how the hate channels have been going on and on and on and on. And, you know, I don't want to be any kind of part of that, you know. One of the things with my channel is I've always wanted to try and be fair to all sides. And while we may see some things, right, that we don't agree with, and, you know, yes, there are things with Chris and there are questions with Katie that I've got, right? And do I think that I would get along with Chris? No, I don't think so. But I don't think I would, because I have a tendency to shoot my mouth off. And so he would never be able to shut me up, pretty much. But not online. I would never do something like that online. It would have to be in person. But that's who I am. He would not scare me at all. But I think he likes that control. I will say that about him. I think he likes that control, my opinion. Chai says I'd not get along with Chris or Seth. Yeah, and Seth, I really haven't, I don't know. My heart breaks for him. I feel his pain sometimes when he's talking. So, but anyway, let's get back to our video, or we're never going to get through this series.
Always LA. Okay, so that's about Carrie Vigil. A couple people asked me that one. Okay. What are some of the signs or symptoms for Sebastian if he misses his medicine?
He's got combined type ADHD, so he does get, you know, hyper. His behaviors become a little more like he'll flip flop between his moods more, you know, like being overly excited, or, you know, he has periods where he's really calm, where he just hyper focuses on, you know, whatever it is that he's playing or fidgeting with.
Yeah.
He can become a little more
Hi,
temperamental, like
Scrim.
more
Welcome
easily
back.
aggravated. Not that he becomes violent, but he just gets aggravated easier.
Right.
He does get an increased appetite when he's off of his meds. You know, an unfortunate side effect of those is that they do suppress the appetite a little bit. So he'll eat more. But and he will be more, I'm trying to think of the right word. Like when he'll start telling you something, he'll be on a bunch of different subjects, but all like in the same sentence.
He's
Right.
very
So
sporadic.
his
He's
thoughts
very
become less
sporadic. He's all over the
coordinated.
place.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
becomes a lot less coordinated in his thoughts.
Yeah. Oh. So okay. So when he took. Okay. So Katie, the trash cans at the end of the driveway Sunday night. Was there any strange cars around then? Did the dogs, and they want to know, did the dog pick up that scent at the end of the driveway?
Can I? No, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, so I'd like to clarify this whole dog scent thing for once and for all.
Mhm.
So the dog scent, everybody said, oh, the dogs didn't get a scent. Dogs didn't get. The dogs got a scent.
Mhm.
What the dogs got and where it led to, there's a lot of misinformation as far as to the road, to the construction site, to this, to that, to this. For the record, there were so many dogs used. I don't know if we actually have a true count. On the day one, there was 5 dogs automatically. We know for a fact. They brought dogs in from out of state, different counties, all over the place. But of all the dogs, there was a couple that took them through a construction zone and took them over to a retention pond.
Uh-huh.
Now, the retention pond is no higher than knee deep.
Right.
They walked it and they drained it. But from there, the scent disappears. There's poof.
Right. Right. Why did you log her up? They said.
Okay, so and Chai, I agree. Sebastian has a smile that lights up, and that's what drew me to the case as well. It makes you want to just hug him, right? Okay, I have noticed this with Chris. Now, law enforcement told Channel 5, Nick Barris, that the scent was a false scent. It wasn't Sebastian. It was a false positive. That's what they told him. But Chris is trying to make it sound like it was a verified scent pickup. It was not. It was not. Law enforcement said it was not. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Well, I mean, who's my lawyer? I'd love to meet him. I mean, I'm not trying to be smart ass, folks.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if somebody said we got a lawyer, I'd like to meet him because, sure.
Yeah, I have no clue. I'm just reading the questions. So let's see. So somebody said, explain to me why you keep making comments about what people think of you, Chris. Why not focus on searching for Sebastian? I'm just reading the questions. I can't see all of them until I pop them up, unless I can see the very top. We'll see. Okay, let's see what this. 3 Tennessee families, each kid missing a child. 2 of the 3, at least one present on social media. At least one parent on social media who is more concerned with how they being portrayed or treated. So what about getting the word out about their child? So I guess what they're saying is, are you like, who are you? Why are you worried about who gets the word out about your child? I guess that's what they're asking. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, but I could be wrong. Like, why does it matter who gets the word out about your child as long as it gets out? Oh, did he drop down again? Oops.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. Yes, I was speaking. Oh my goodness. So anyway, um, you said my concern is that the Supreme Court has upheld law enforcement using deceit and trickery time after time. And I'm curious if law enforcement lied about the dog hit. So, um, I mean, if you're retired law enforcement, have you known them to do that? Have they used deceit and trickery in your opinion? Because I don't know, so I'm just asking. And I mean, I've seen, like in this case, they have said, we have no reason to believe there's foul play. Well, no one could ever tell me that law enforcement doesn't think there's foul play in this case. Ah, so you have seen it. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, you'd like to think law enforcement would be honest, right? But um, you were a parole officer. Okay. And they tell people all kinds of nonsense. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I know there are a lot of people who do not like Sheriff Craddock, and that they believe, opinion only, not fact, but they believe Proudfoots and Bower Sox have him in their pocket, which is small town law enforcement. It would not surprise me at all, but that's all alleged. We don't know that for sure. All right, let's continue.
No, he's still there. You still there, Chris?
Hello, can you hear me now? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, like
The whole thing about I heard your question. My answer is simple. We want correct information out there. We don't want false information, which unfortunately somebody has put out false information. And the downside is one anchor in particular, I don't need to put the name out there,
it's okay.
but the one news anchor, instead of just reporting, kept insinuating stuff, which in itself is a problem. And it drew the focus away from Sebastian and started focusing more on, who did it? Well, these people are, and that was a problem. So we don't want false information. None of the parents, none of the family members want false information. We just want the accurate information out there and people to focus on finding him instead of bashing parents or bashing something that they don't like, and just if people would put that focus into finding Sebastian instead of bashing us, that would be amazing. We love you all regardless.
I understand that, but here, listen, I know, and y'all let me get back to the comment. I'll get back to this in a minute. I think, Lord have mercy. Now, there's my comments. Sorry, y'all, I can't see my comments. I'll get back to all that. Thank you for all that. I'll get back to that in a minute. It's just too many, and I don't know how much further along it goes down. But I just don't see what's the difference in that, and maybe. And we do want the correct. I said this from the day that I opened this up. I want to make sure the correct information, and I'll try my very best to do that no matter what. And I could be wrong on some things. I really could. It's hard to get facts out about everything, and I'll correct if I'm wrong. But listen, and on this channel, I do say things that others won't say, and that's okay. But because I do care and I'm passionate about the kids. I don't care. I'm not in it for the money, the clicks, likes, views, whatever. I don't care. That's not what I'm here for. But Chris, it's what you said. So I'm asking you, why not go on these big channels or bigger channels, or little channels? It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, what does it matter? Is it that important to you that a person you feel, and your feelings are your feelings, but I'm just saying that you feel is getting this misinformation or this information about you or digging the dirt on you. Now, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. What I'm trying to say is, or you go on this channel per se. He dropped off again.
Yeah. isn't that convenient? He dropped off when she was asking him about why he feels it's so important to go on interviews to defend himself. Um, and I try to think about how I would be, and I think that I don't know if you guys watched the Gabby Petito case much. That was really my first big true crime case that I watched from the beginning, and broke my heart. Broke my heart. But I watched parents and step-parents, all four, come together. And so, you see the Schmidts and the Petitos coming together, and you never heard them worry about what was being said about them. Their focus, their goal was on getting Gabby back. That was their focus, and you don't see that here. You don't see that in this case. It seems like Chris is always coming on. Hello, SRK, welcome back. Chris is always coming on to defend himself and Katie, and he says all the right thing. He says that, everybody needs to stop bashing them. But honestly, I've said from the beginning, if he would have just controlled himself better from the very beginning, when Sebastian went missing, there would not be all of this backlash against him. You can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but that's my opinion. I really feel as though if he would have behaved himself, didn't get defensive and angry, and just focused on Sebastian, there wouldn't have been all this drama in this case. And I have to tell you, as a creator, it's been really, really hard to try to keep things going for the facts. I agree with you, Chai. Chris is his own worst enemy. And, I think, if you were in a step-parent situation, would you want Chris on the other side of that situation? I'm just saying. I wouldn't. I wouldn't, but, that's just my opinion. I really wouldn't. And, this question that's up there right now on the screen for Smiley, it says, why hasn't law enforcement publicly cleared you? Well, law enforcement to this day, 8 months later, hasn't cleared anyone. So I don't know why people are asking that question. I know that they have, like in the Idaho 4 case, they were kind of letting it be known that there were some people who were completely cleared because social media was going nuts on the Jacks and hoodie guy and, you name it. Shy. No, you wouldn't want him on the other end, would you? SRK. No, I wouldn't either. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm just gonna say it. He's a hard person to take. Even when he's trying to be nice, I have a hard time with them. I think he just rubs people the wrong way, and I think he realizes it. I'm sorry, Chris, if you're listening. I'm sorry. I don't mean anything. Oh, The last thing I want is him coming back at me, right? But let's continue on for a little while longer. We're probably going to have to split this up again, guys, but that's all right. This one's kind of a fun one to chat with, isn't it?
Hold on. Let me paste it back up. Y'all must have, are you having a Wi-Fi issues or storm, or is that where he's at right now working?
I think it's where he's at.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he wasn't invited to Nancy Grace, but I'm sure she would love to have them.
We've actually reached out to Nancy Grace and hadn't heard back. We didn't know about the Nancy Grace interview.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think she would love to have it. Here he goes. Okay.
I think it would be great because she's got such a vast audience and a way of getting it out there big time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But Chris, I was just going to say, what's the difference in that and being on any channel that maybe is just trying to make a name for themselves? Is that not like, who's not really does stuff like this? I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, is that not important to y'all?
Finding Sebastian is every bit of important as anything else. But at the same time, do I want to sit down with somebody who's dragged me through the mud, continues to drag us through the mud, and keeps putting false information out there, which causes a lot of problems, not just for us, but for the law enforcement folks that are also doing their job trying to find Sebastian. It's an issue.
Well, can I just ask you,
Yes,
what about Nick Barris? I mean,
that's who we're referring to.
Okay. I don't know anything about that, so I'm just gonna say okay. Okay.
Right, and unfortunately, and it's nothing against everybody out there. There's stuff that people don't know, and they're not going to be. They won't know because they weren't privy to the conversations.
Yeah.
You know, not only that, but
Sorry, I did it again. But anyway, I don't like his pervy. It's privy, Chris. Privy. But I did not realize that he doesn't like Nick Barris. Is that... Thank you, Chive. I appreciate that. My dog likes to act up when I'm live and I'm sitting here talking. So then when I mute myself, I'm able to tell her to go lay down or whatever I need to do. And then I forget to unmute myself when I'm talking. But yeah, that whole thing with pervy drives me crazy with Chris. I don't know why, it just does. But yeah, isn't Nick Barris the one that brought out the flashlight video? And did that hit too close to home? Makes you wonder.
you know, it just sucks. And there's a difference in journalism and trying to get your Emmy nomination. There's a difference.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay.
And I'm not, and like I said, I'm not trying to be mean, but
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure this out. So yeah.
I mean, trust me, if I can go to everybody else and I can go get all these people and we can get Nancy Grace and we can get anybody else out there to spread the word, I'm not going to worry about one anchor. I'm not.
Right. Well, I say everybody, needs to do it. I mean, everybody needs to do what they can, no matter if they're this big, or this big, or gigantic, but it's just, it needs to be found. And that's all there is to it. But Chris, I'm going to ask you, same thing I asked Katie a while ago. If you could say anything in this world that you rethink this 3 weeks, what would you say to Sebastian today, tonight, right now, again? I mean, it don't have to be the same thing. It could be now. What are you feeling tonight?
Let me guess. You're not in
I
trouble,
miss him.
buddy.
I want him home. Looking forward to him being back home. I'm looking to see, happy to get things back to normal instead of chaos.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not a man of emotional words, but Sebastian, he knows. Deep down, he knows.
Would what would you do if you could change anything about that Sunday? And I know you were not home, but what would you do if you could change anything about that Sunday?
Let's say that one more time. I'm sorry, I misunderstood that.
If you could turn back time and you could change anything about that Sunday, what would it be? I know you were not home. You were in Memphis. But if you could do anything over about that Sunday, what would you do?
If I could go back and change anything, I wished I was able to work in town. Maybe things would have been different because we both would have been home. I don't know. I mean, there's so many shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and I wish I could have, and wished I would have, and I don't have the answers because I don't know. I mean, I know I got my stepson's missing. My house is not whole. There's a big emptiness right now.
Yeah. Somebody said it took you 7 hours to get home. I don't know.
It's a 7+ hour round trip from my house to Memphis.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's not. Yeah, so they're saying that some people were saying that you like didn't leave right away and you were waiting, and we already went through all that. So
well, and some of those folks' comment is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I cannot leave. I can't just. It's not a normal job. You can't just tell your boss out of here, walk out the door, get in your car, and leave. You know, I mean, there's a lot of safety involved. You know, Sebastian's dad, same.
Okay, so, well, we know now that Chris never told his boss that he was even married and that he had a stepson. Nevertheless, his stepson was missing. And he didn't ask for a replacement like he tries to say that he did as a crane operator. And yes, Chai, he does make quite a bit of money. But in fact, he was told to leave about 11 o'clock that day because of safety issues. He wasn't being safe. And I can't even imagine what being safe means, that he was not being safe, what that means as a crane operator. I can't even imagine that, you guys. So he was sent home. And he said earlier that he almost lost his job. Well, So, yeah, communicating is not a strong point. Probably not, right? I think he just has an eye for the ladies. It doesn't matter if he's married or not, I think. My opinion, anyway. But, yeah, no, he didn't even leave Memphis until after 11 when he was told to leave. He never asked for a replacement. And he's right about the fact that they can't just leave. Can't just crawl down off that crane and then say, I gotta go. You know, you have to have a replacement there for you. But yeah, there was a replacement there, and he was told to leave because of safety issues. So no matter which way he tries to spin it, we know the truth now. And what I try to go by here on this channel is facts. I try to stick with the facts as much as I possibly can. And the facts are, yes, he's been married 5 times. He named them all in this interview. He named all 5 wives. I didn't know their names. I knew about Nina, but I didn't know all their names until he said them. That was kind of funny. And I've heard stories about this Rachel, and I don't know whether all that's true or not. But really, that doesn't matter because it doesn't have anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance. Like I said that, I think, in the last video, unless one of those wives has Sebastian, which I'm kind of thinking not the case, but those don't really, fit into Sebastian's disappearance. And that's what we're trying to focus on here, right? And one of the things about going through all these videos is that it's just reminding me how much you guys said it earlier that he's his own worst enemy. He made himself look worse and worse and worse and worse as he went on. He'd be better off if he just let Katie talk, honestly, because he's hurt. He's hurt his reputation. He will always be known for his anger and his defiance, or his brashness, as he likes to say, but he'll never be known for respect because you cannot be both. So I guess we're going to continue this again on the next one, which will probably be tomorrow. I wasn't going to even go live today because of the election, but I thought, well, we're all kind of waiting on the results anyway, so might as well go online and think about Sebastian for a while, and hopefully, these new leads in Oregon, that something will come of it. I'm hoping, Dog must think something's up or he wouldn't put out that much money, guys. Why would he? Right? So there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason that Dog put up $175,000. Cool. Yeah, it'll be probably around the same time tomorrow night, around 6:05, something like that, that we'll go live for the next part of it. Be sure to like and subscribe, you guys. Light it up green for Sebastian. My porch is all lit up green every night, and it's going to stay that way until Sebastian is home. Keep putting his face out on social media, that beautiful little smile, okay? And I want to thank each and every one of you for being in here tonight. You guys, since you've started interacting with me on chat, it's been so much fun. Dog is broke and owes over $1 million in taxes. I don't know why he offered that. I didn't know that. Well, all the more reason that he thinks this is that he thinks this is gonna break, right? I really think he thinks there's something there. So from our mouth to God's ears, right? So light it up green, guys, and we will see you probably tomorrow on the next one, okay? Thanks so much. I really appreciate each and every one. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.